Quilling Snowflakes is all about symmetry, and in this video I want to share a lot of tips for making symmetrical quilling snowflakes. I will also show you how to use these patterns, so stay till the end if you don't want to miss any of these tips. Let's start with the first quilling shape. I have prepared a quilling pattern for you, so you can get the right length of your paper strips. As you can see, I have divided the pattern into sections. The paper strip is 4 inches or 10 centimeters long. Just put your paper strip on it and cut it at the end. Now I use an embossing tool to trace the red lines from my pattern on my quilling paper strip. If you don't have an embossing tool, you can also use a pen. It's important to do this because you have to fold your quilling paper strip along these red lines. For this part I use 6mm paper strips of 300 GSM paper or paper strips from cardstock. You can also glue 2 or 3 paper strips together to get a thicker one. Can you see the lines on the paper strip that I have made with the embossing tool? We have to fold the paper strip along these lines. The next step is to curve both ends of the paper strip. I'm using a quilling needle for this. Just place the paper strip between your thumb and the quilling needle and curve it to the outside. And the last step is to glue both ends together. Just use a little bit of glue at the end of the paper strip. This was the difficult quilling shape of the snowflake. The other shapes will be easier, I promise. You totally need 6 pieces of this shape. For the next quilling shapes, I use 130 GSM paper strips. You can also use 80 GSM paper strips. The paper strip that I use for this part is 35 centimeters or 14 inches long. I'm using my slotted quilling tool to make a loose coil, and as you can see, I also use the quilling template board to get the exact same size for all my coils. I strongly recommend you to do this if you want to get a symmetrical snowflake. Here is another tip on how to hide the end of your paper strips of your quilling shapes. So listen carefully. Pull the center of the quilling coil to the side where the end of the paper strip is, and then pinch both sides to get a teardrop shape. We will attach the curved side of the teardrop shape to another quilling coil, so the end of the paper strip will disappear. Oh yeah, and before I forget, you need 6 of these pieces. Let's make some ring coils. I want to use the first ring of this quilling mold. If you don't have a mold, you can also use the handle of your slotted quilling tool or even a pen to make your ring coils. I'm using a quilling needle to curve the paper strip, so it's easier to wrap it along the quilling mold. Add a little bit of glue on it before you start and you can wrap it easily. The paper strip that I'm using here is 15 centimeters or 6 inches long. Add a little bit of glue on the end of your paper strip, let it dry a few seconds, and then you can remove it easily from the quilling mold. You have to make 6 of these ring coils. This is the last quilling shape we need for the snowflake. It's just a simple tight coil, but I want to share 2 tips with you. After you're done with the tight quilling coil, roll it between your fingers. This will make the center hole smaller. And then place it on the table. Use the handle of your slotted quilling tool and press it on the tight coil. This will make an even surface. The paper strip that I'm using here is 15 centimeters or 6 inches long. You have to make 12 tight coils. You have to make another 13 tight coils with a smaller paper strip. This time the paper strip is 8 centimeters or 3 inches long. The next step is to attach all these quilling shapes together to get a quilling snowflake. We will glue both tight coils, the bigger and the smaller tight coils, together. But before we start gluing, pick one of the tight coils and search for the end of the paper strip. This is the area where we will put glue on and stick both tight coils together. You have to search for the same area of the second tight coil before gluing. In this way we can hide the end of the paper strips and your tight coils will be perfect. Here is another tip. If you're not happy with the center part of your tight coil, you can use a pin and bring the center hole into shape. You can download this pattern and the one that I used before from the link in the video description. And don't forget to like this video. I would really appreciate your support. Put the pattern on the back side of your quilling template board and secure its position with pins. Take the last tight coil, stick a pin through it and place it on the center of the pattern. The next step is to glue all the teardrop shapes to the tight coil. Use just a little bit of glue on the curved side of the teardrop shape and stick it to the tight coil. Here you have to pay attention. Place the teardrop shapes on every second line of the pattern. The next step will be to glue all these shapes between the teardrop shapes. Add a little bit of glue on both sides of the shape and place it on the line of the pattern. As you can see, the snowflake isn't really symmetrical. That's why we have to work with pins. You have just a little bit of time till the glue dries, and in this time you have to pin all of these shapes on the right position. After everything is on the right position, we can go on with the ring and tight coils. Put one ring coil on the same line of the pattern where the teardrop shape is. But be careful, don't cross the cycle from the other shapes, they all have to be on the same cycle. And then you can place the tight coils to the ring coil. Now it's up to you how you want to place the tight coils to the ring coil. For example, you can place the smaller tight coils next to the ring coil, or you can place the bigger tight coils next to the ring coil. I decided to place the smaller tight coils next to the ring coil. So this is my favorite part of the quilling craft. After the glue is dry, you can remove all of the pins and then you can hold the snowflake in your hand and it won't melt away. I hope you have learned a lot from this video, and if you want to see more content like this, just let me know it in the comments. And here's my last tip in this video. If you want to see more quilling snowflakes like this, or quilling ornaments or quilling wintercraft, just check out this playlist here. Thank you for watching, guys.